As we continue to give you things to add to your calendar, the Young Girl TT and the Model Image Workshop will be having their passing out parade on Saturday, the 17th of August. Joining us this morning in studio is Creative Director Richard Young to share more. Good morning, Richard, and welcome.
Morning. Nice to be here as usual.
It's wonderful to have you here again. Richard, for those who are meeting you for the first time, how would you describe the Young Girl TT?
Well, I have it as a training center and a specialty event space where creative persons could come, because so far we have had readings from musical, we've had pop-up shops, we have people coming to have meetings to plan things all in the creative sphere. But majorly, I train young women for pageants. I train persons who want to be models. I also just train people who want to boost their confidences and to create a sense of presence. I also do customer service interface, communication, improvement workshops. And so I call them capstone courses because this is carbon dating myself. I'm doing this for over 35 years throughout the region. And so I've crafted these programs so that you can join any one of them. I have 1 day, I have 1 week, I have 3 months. And I bring in other people to speak and to talk and to share, all of which to make you have a kind of independent style, an individualistic style, know about personality projection, know about communication interface, know about deportment, know about elocution to some degree, introductory etiquette skills, basic ethics in how you interact. And so they're going to present themselves. This cohort is from 7 years old to 54.
Oh, wow.
And in the beginning, I was pulling persons in to put them in groups. And they said, you know what, I'm just going to leave this as it is. And they had to work out 16 sessions with me, and they can choose how to do it. And so it was a very interesting way of getting people to bond. And in that bonding, you saw the development of potential models, you saw persons wanting to go into PR endeavors, you saw persons who want to take up passion projects and host and steward initiatives. It's really an interesting mingle and network.
It's definitely all-encompassing from what you have shared, and something that really will help any and every walk of life. So for those of you joining us, you're seeing on your screen some from the Young Girl TT,
part of some of the workshops,
part of the Model Image Workshop. We were just speaking about this off air, actually. Richard, how would you describe the transformation you've seen from this cohort?
Well, from persons who would, when I say come and introduce yourself, saying one-liners in a very staccato way, to doing paragraphs about themselves, because it's about unearthing your storytelling. You know, I believe that that's what my purpose is, and I've shrunk all of my brand titles to storyteller and to use this storytelling method to empower people, so empower persons at all ages. So it's very all-inclusive in this thing, all sizes, all ages, and all genders. And it was so interesting to see parents bringing their sons. I have a lot of teenagers, about 3 of them just passed SEA, and 2 or 3 of them going to the same school, and they came from Sangre Grande, Chaguanas, San Fernando, Port of Spain, and environs. So it's starting a new thing, and all the parents and the relations stay while the program is going on in a little room to the side, peeping into the workshop, and sometimes filming it and telling them what the choreography is. But to hear them introduce themselves, that to me is my biggest pride and joy, is to hear even my 7-year-old who plays a drum set and plays a guitar, and she says, I have my own jewelry business, Uncle Richard, and that sort of thing. And she did an ad, and the confidence to do things, and just to walk up the step and to chat and to talk, because we have a little patio that they go outside and lime on, and I just look at that and It's really, really making me feel this is what my purpose is. I mean, the end result of that is to put those persons on a show to get them an ad or whatever. But I think the communication with how you feel about yourself and how to empower yourself, I feel now I can say it's probably a gift or a talent, because I've worked with several of the pageant representatives from Trinidad and Tobago going on abroad. Miss World, I worked with some of the ones going up for Miss Universe locally, even the one who just won. I trained about 4 of them, all of them placed. And so there has to be something going on. Annalise and Anton just did so well, placing in all of the categories. And the communication thing about feeling good about telling things that are ordinary and giving it an extraordinary value, I think that is definitely the catch. And that's what gives you brand identity, value, and self-empowering status. So that's what I look forward to. I'm looking forward to some more.
As you say, look forward to, what can we look forward to with this celebration taking place at the passing out?
They have to craft their own style and present it. So their parents, their neighbors, their friends have determined whether it's an urban look, what they're going to do with their hair, and they come with that. I bring hairdressers and makeup artists to help them build that look, and they present that look. And then 2 designers are going to showcase their garments. The cloth has done a line for me, well, it's my brother Robert and Dominic LaRoche of Indigenous Philosophy. So they're actually going to get a real fashion show experience, and then I'm going to bring them on to introduce themselves. And I know that is where the nerves come in, because the walking is one thing. All I'm saying, oh my gosh, Uncle Richard, Mr. Richard, all sorts of versions of what they call me. And they say, I can do the walk, but oh my gosh, to talk. But they are doing splendidly. For the last few days, I've been doing one-on-ones with them to hear what they are going to say and to shape it and help them get it into the best frame it can be. So that's what it is. I've invited a few people. I've invited advertising agencies. I've invited the media. So it's a lot of exposure they're going to get in this enterprise, as it will, on Sunday.
As you mentioned, the one-on-ones and shaping who you are interacting with, how important would you say mentorship is when it comes to shaping creative and professional success?
Very, very important. As I say, I've only recently recognized that probably is a talent or a gift I have, and people might have seen it before me identifying it. I was just doing the do. But they need to hear stories of how it has happened, how it can happen, and to allow their dreams to blossom, and to allow sometimes it's not even a dream, it's just an inclination, a proclivity. And you take that and you mold it, and all of a sudden they are very empowered. It actually redefines who they want to be, and their whole direction. Like one of the young ladies, she is in Sangre Grande, and she said, I always wanted to do volunteerism, and I was so shy, and I couldn't go up to and she said, after about 6 sessions, she went and she introduced herself, and now she's actively involved, and she's working on a charity. And so it is very, very important for them to feel that they also have access to people that they think they can't have access to. So I bring in a lot of persons to talk. Nicole Dyer Griffith came in to talk. Gisela Ron is coming in to talk, and other persons like Sharon Imbert coming in to talk. So they meet other people, other views. It's not just mine, but I kind of, I corral all of these persons who can share their life story and share their possibility of what you can become, because sometimes people feel very limited and bordered because the horizons are not there. And so now I think I open up the eyes to see where it can go, because some of the young men who came never thought they would model. Their parents brought them. They said, all right, I can do it. And now they are doing it and saying, I would stay in the commercial thing. I want to do photographic work. I would want to work in the backstage. I like the organizing of the show. I want to help with the set. I want to help with the music coordination, because I also make them open up their ears and appetite to other types of music. So we play world music. We play a lot of Caribbean music because, I'm a Caribbeanist.
Of course.
But I do a lot of Afro fusions, Indo fusions, Afro-Indo fusions. So all of that is part of the opening up of their world, as it will, when they come to the program. Indian music, All sorts of music, and the interface with the other people that I train. Like I'm working on the Miss India World while I'm working on Miss World. I worked on the Miss Universe delegates. Some of them came to me privately, and so they meet all of those persons training and train with them. So I think it changes their life.
It sounds like it changes their life. What's next for Young Girl TT?
Well, a new cohort, and there's a group of people like 50 to 80s coming to use this space and want me to talk, give them style tips. There is going to be a lot of intensive one-day workshops I want to do for people who can't do the whole run of 16 sessions, and it's a space that people can come and use. I have a lot of interest in the space. People come in to talk. I've transformed that space. It's all black and white, as I say, and you bring the color to the space, and the energy is there.
How can someone join or find out more about the upcoming workshops?
Well, they can go at the Young Girl TT on Facebook, Young Girl TT on Instagram, or Young Girl TT at Gmail. You can write into them. I have an administrative team, and they have been really helpful. They're my tribe, more than even family. They stick to it and make me do what I have to do, and I really have to applaud them for sticking to me, decades of them being around me. And so I'm looking forward, not just to young people, all ages, all sizes. I have one or two interests from corporate spaces who are going to send their staff for training. And so I'm looking forward to that because I used to do a lot of that before. I call my program capstone courses. So it's not an accredited course coming from an educational institute. It comes from my 35 plus years of doing what I do. And I've done it throughout the region, you know, so I think it is adding value, and that's all I think I can do at this stage. I want to do is to add value to people's lives and help transform and impact them.
And that's something that we are seeing happening.
Yes.
And looking forward to the Passing Out Parade, where we will see that. And you can also be a part of this as well, as would have just been shared. You can go and check them out on social media. Richard, before we close, what is one message that you would like viewers to take away about owning their image and their personal power?
Well, I think we came out of a post-colonial space. We are still in a post-colonial, a lot of relics of that in terms of always wanting to approximate metropolitan ideals and so. And I like to push the idea that you need to love being of this space, you know, and I like to push the idea that we have to create our own methodologies to service what we do in this space. And so that identity branding is very, very important to me. So I call myself a Caribbean, and that's what I do all the time. In every incarnation, every dispensation, I promote that, and that self-love is a hard thing for us to come up with, coming out of the uglies of our history. And I grapple with it every day myself, but because of that, I have found ways to overcome it and access this other side, the other side of fear, as they say, which is where you become more authentic and more original and more unique and more individualistic. And so I push that for them. I always keep telling them, I don't want you to lose your individualism. I'm just giving you techniques to boost it, you know. I want you to have your own history. Tell me your story from where you've come, and I'm just adding ways of projecting. So you can still be feeling a little shy, but you know how to hold your body, you know how to create presence, you know how to manipulate perception, how your shoulders are held, how your legs are held, how your hands are held, how you move your face. I always tell them, imagine somebody peeping through the crack of the door and seeing you in the unguarded moment, and you have to signal to those persons without you even knowing and without them knowing. And so therefore when you go in, your presence precedes you. So they say, my God, I saw you just a few minutes before, and I saw the way you were sitting and holding yourself, and I saw you in your pensive mood. And I say, I want to find out more about you, as opposed to if you were sitting lethargically and, you know, and not holding yourself in a certain way, you know. So they have become conscious of that. I look at them in the private moments and the space right there. They sit, they don't use the back of the chair. Everybody, the young men, sit to the edge of the chair, hold your lower back up. And it is uncomfortable at first, and then it becomes comfortable. It becomes comfortable because it's important for how you project who you are in that unguarded moment. It's all about signals, you see, and that's your identity and that's your brand value. And so And I do that with the creatives as well, the designers. All of that is a way of them accessing and unearthing something more than just what people think they are about.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for joining us. I feel as though you just dropped some gems with us this morning on the Now Morning Show, and looking forward to your next cohort and seeing those that you transform, just putting great things into the community.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Richard Young, Creative Director, here with us this morning on the Now Morning Show, speaking about the passing out ceremony happening on the 17th of August. Make sure that you follow them on social media and stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.